Chest day, shoulder day, arm day. Trying to get the chest to grow, so I'm gonna use some fun tools today and really see what we can do. Using the Neufit, it's going to provide some direct current into the muscles I'm trying to work, allow me to activate that muscle more effectively, in theory, to allow me to grow muscle tissue faster. I want to really focus on the chest over the course of this next training cycle, get a little bit more size there. Still feeling the arms, still feeling the shoulders, get some more width in the back. But I'm start using the Neufit a little bit more in this next training cycle. It's a fun tool, it's a great tool, great for a lot of different uses, but this is just one of them. One crew, work it. As you start moving through the movement, the pads, you kind of get used to the contraction, so you're able to get into that length. You think about contraction, right? It's the shortening of the muscle. So when we're getting into more length against the pads, it's kind of relaxing. Over time, you get used to it, but you're kind of fighting against the machine's tendency or preference to keep that muscle short. So you're actually getting a little more micro trauma, a little more signaling, more impulse from the muscle back to the central nervous system for better feedback. But really, really good for muscle activation, hypertrophy. Trying to really take advantage of the eccentric load, especially with the Neufit on. Lengthening phase of that muscle is so crucial for gaining size. So if you have some problem areas that you really want to focus on, spend more time in that lengthening phase, you'll see better results. Great device for being able to warm up the muscle, warm up the central nervous system. But you can use it during your workout as well, like you see me kind of doing. Started off with lighter weight, a lot of warm-up sets, a lot of reps. Now we're pushing the weight a little bit heavier, focusing on time under tension. This is a fitness and health cheat code, really. Oh. Oh. Before the pecs get too tired, I'm gonna get some dumbbell presses. Babbage. The only thing is, when you use the Neufit, you might go lighter in weight, because ideally you're gonna accompany that with some more time under tension. Feels good. just get a lot of high reps, a lot of high volume for the pecs now. I just burn them out, get a lot of blood flow. When people have problems feeling their pecs with flies, usually it's an issue of them not getting enough of that length in the pec. People are so focused on trying to get that shortened position, feel that contraction, but really the majority of that growth happens when you're lengthening the muscle. So try not to focus on the wrong things. Don't lose sight of the whole picture. Try to keep consistent weights that you can use safely to avoid tearing your pec. Stress the muscle safely under as much range of motion as you can safely. You do that, the muscle will grow. Another big issue a lot of people have with chest activation is rounding through their spine too much, which actually decreases the range of motion that you can get that pec into full length. I'm going through this fly motion and I'm letting my chest come up, rounding my spine, opening my chest up. You're actually not opening the pec up, you're opening up from your rib cage. You're actually decreasing the range of motion that your pec's going through. Some seated push downs, like a machine dip, and then we'll transition into shoulders. Shoulder time. Using the cable for shoulder presses is so much better because the resistance stays consistent even through the eccentric range. You keep that loading, so it's way harder to just drop the weight down, lose tension in the muscle. Gotta let the hand come across the body to shorten that medial delt, and then try not to go beyond parallel to the ground, because then you start just getting that trap kicking in anyways. With the shoulder pressing variation, we're gonna put the pads on the front delt and a little bit of the medial delt. That's pretty spicy. One of the limitations with the shoulders is keeping the pads on. Usually I'll get about 3 sets with the pads on and then get more sets with them off. The shoulder press machine is probably by far one of my favorite machines. With any kind of seated variation, especially when you don't have to factor in stability, you can keep your rib cage down a lot better. If you can keep your rib cage under control, then you can activate the shoulder a lot better. We're gonna go pads off, keep going. The idea behind a drop set is you're not letting the muscle recover, you're letting the central nervous system recover. And so you're able to get a lot of that muscular fatigue, but the central nervous system can recover just enough that you can get enough reps in the next set. The main difference with this forward position is you really want to focus on keeping your elbows in tight, because you're driving through that anterior delt and then finishing through with that tricep. So you're going to feel like you're kind of pressing slightly forward and in front of you, but the way that this machine swings is you actually still will finish in a more overhead extended position. Could have got maybe a couple more reps there, but I didn't want to let my elbows flare out. Started off at 200 and worked all the way down to 80 now for this front position. It'll still feel like 200 though. Biceps, focusing a lot more on eccentric loading, getting into length, pauses, smooth tempos, trying to get a lot of blood flow, trying to still get a lot of tension consistently on the muscle. We're going to increase the weight, switch to a hammer grip, 2 sets, and then a drop set. The contraction is so much harder, so is the pump. Triceps, and then we're done. I'm focusing on triceps. I try to really focus on touching my bicep and forearm together in that top position. I'm trying to drive my hands back, as far back as I can, not only into a fully tricep extended position, but getting those shoulders back as much too, so you can get that high tricep insertion. As the reps go on, if you can't get your hands all the way to your pockets, don't worry too much about it. Keep that extension going, get as close as you can every single time. There's nothing wrong with half reps, just make sure you get as many full reps as you can, and then get some half reps, some partials. I'm going to get that mechanical drop set now. So starting off far back, getting that full extension, and then stepping in closer as we start to fatigue. now I'm going to do the same thing, go to the higher handle position. With that higher handle position, the lever's not as long, so that first position is really, really hard, but you have more and more leverage as you get closer. A lot of good variety with the triceps, making sure you're hitting all three heads. Really want to focus on keeping those elbows back as far as you can in that position, getting a big stretch and driving through that position without the elbows coming forward and using that lat. Not a movement I typically like to go really heavy on. I'm gonna get a lot of reps in that position. I don't really want to compromise my shoulders by being stuck with a lot of weight in this overhead position and cause me to really extend that spine. You learn something and can incorporate some of this stuff to help your training program. If you have a Neufit in your area, definitely check it out. Most places might even give you a free trial. We don't, we're too busy for that. Definitely worth it. Even if you have to pay for it, the knowledge you'll learn about yourself, the imbalances you may have, where pain may be coming from, all super valuable information to ensure that you're not potentially injuring yourself or creating compensation patterns where you're using muscles that you shouldn't be using during specific movements. Like if you're really trap dominant with a row or pull down or something like that. So highly recommend you check it out if you have one in your area. If not, take a trip. It'll be worth it. Bye.